Mhm.
Good morning, students. Your today's session is Revit Engineering Training. Sir, I request you to please start.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
So my name is Parth Goel and I'm your teacher for Revit architecture class. And this class will talk about how you can work on different construction modules and projects, that too on Revit software. Okay, and I'll also show you some links of Revit to different other host softwares where you can do specific things to your project, which you cannot do in Revit. Okay, so basically, I think everybody here knows AutoCAD if you are from construction or civil engineering background. So AutoCAD is a software where you work on 2D structures, 2D drawings and maps, right? So what's different in Revit from AutoCAD is that Revit works on 3D structures. Okay, you can also create 2D drawings and plans, but you can convert them to 3D by just one single click, and then you can work on those 3D elevations. So nowadays you have seen a lot of projects, almost each and every project has a 3D predefined elevation, that what our project is going to look when it will be completed, right? So that's what we can do on Revit. Just give me a minute. I'll connect my or share my screen so that you'll be able to see. So my first thing I want to ask all of you is how many people do not have a laptop or a computer right now, and they are attending. If you are attending this class with the help of a mobile or a tablet, please let me know. I think it's an interactive class, so you can unmute yourself, right? Ma'am, it's an
Yes, sir. I
interactive.
think so. We all have, sir.
Yes,
We
so
all have
everybody
laptop.
has a laptop, right? And you
Yes,
Yes,
all
sir.
sir.
have,
Yes, sir. We have.
okay, that's good. And do you all have Revit
No,
installed?
sir. No, sir.
Anyone?
No,
No, no,
no,
sir.
sir. We don't have.
No, you don't have. Okay. So what we can do is I'll just uh, today we'll go with the session, and before the session ends, I'll just give you a short process. How can you install Revit? Okay. Now
Okay, sir.
earlier what happened is Revit was free for students and teachers. It had a free version which you can easily download. So if you have your documentation and all those certificates, then you can upload any of your recent mark sheet or something like that on Revit website, and then you can download it for free. Or I'll show you if you want
Sir,
how can
documents which
documents like
documents what
mhm. Tell
sir
me
what
what your doubt is.
sir I mean to say that what are the documents required?
Exactly. So I have never uploaded any, but I think you will find you can use any identification that you are still a student or you have not passed out of the university in which you are studying. So maybe a recent mark sheet or any other ID card or something like that will suffice
So only
on the
students
website.
can go for this free Revit.
Yes, students and maybe instructors. I don't know instructors what documents they need. I already have an installed version, so I installed it before, or maybe I have cracked it. I don't remember. But yes, if you are a student, you can easily upload your current any documentation of identification that you are still a student, and then you can download that free version. Or I generally use the cracked one, so you can get that cracked one easily. And cracking it is also not a very big deal. That also I can show you. So
Sir,
you
so
don't
can you
have to.
teach us how to crack it, sir? Because
I'll do that. I'll do that.
yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I will share my screen now. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now I think you are able to see my screen, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, first of all, I'll show you. In AutoCAD, generally you work on 2D structures or 2D maps, right? So, those will, whenever you create a 2D drawing, so you have to predefine that you are going to just create a 2D drawing or you are going to convert it into 3D. Because if you have made a drawing or plan just for a 2D view, and then it's sometimes very difficult to create 3D on that, right? So nowadays, if you want a 3D, then you directly work on, like what I do is I directly work on Revit. I don't create 2D on AutoCAD, then transfer that file to Revit and then work on Revit. It will take a lot of time, right? So for example, this is a 2D plan, right? Of like a one G+1 floor house plan. So this probably is made on AutoCAD, because in Revit, you can, like for example, in AutoCAD, if you have to make a door, okay. So what you have to do is, if you know, or if you have ever worked on AutoCAD, you have to create that door with the help of lines and curves, right? You have to create that door yourself and then place it on a location. And if you want to change it, then again and again you have to delete those wall lines and shift your door. But that does not happen in Revit. So it's a very easier way to work on Revit. But yes, it's not as precise as AutoCAD when it comes to 2D mapping. So let's start on Revit only, and you'll get to know. So when you'll open your Revit, it will, the first home screen will look something like this. I have some recent projects which are showing here, but you won't be able to see them. You'll get some other templates, okay? These type of templates you'll get. So what you have to do is first select the new option, and then now right now we are working on an architectural template, okay? So when you'll go to construction or structural or systems template, your options in Revit will be different. Like in a construction template, you will be able to apply a different type of truss modules and other construction elements. In structural template, you'll be able to find out the load bearing capacities and the load, different type of loads which are coming on a structure element. Okay. And in systems template, you'll be able to put plumbing, electrical, and HVAC systems on board to your construction project. So right now, that is a very advanced level thing which we are not going to take. We're going to take architectural template, in which we are going to create the architectural project and its elements and different views on that. Okay, so I'll select the imperial one and press OK. So it'll take a minute to load.
Sir, in that, what's the meaning of this imperial and metric?
Okay, imperial is when you measure it in inches and feet. Okay, and in metric you measure it in meters. So generally metric system works in other countries. In India we use the imperial measurement system in a lot of things. Sometimes we measure things in meters and centimeters, but officially we work on imperial systems. When you will come to market, you will get to know that.
Is in
Okay.
imperial, it will be foot and inches, no?
Yes, feet and inches.
Oh.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
this
Thank
will
you.
be your workspace. Okay. This is north, south, east, west, all those directions. And this white space, this white board is your workspace. So now once you open your Revit, the first thing you have to do is type UN. Okay, UNN. So when you type UN, that is units ka first two letters U and N, then this dialog box will open. Okay, so what you have to do is first you have to set your unit uh, preciseness, that how much you want to, how much rounding up you need, how much fractions you need. Okay, so I'll take this to 1 inches, which is the nearest I want to go, because I can go less than that, but then all the dimensions will be in fractions, which will be pretty difficult to understand, and we are not going to create a project in which a very high level of preciseness is required. Okay, otherwise you can go to 1 by 256 inch of preciseness. That's how much rounding you can go up to. But for this demonstration, I'll keep it at 1 inches. Okay. And the feet and fraction inches will be our unit. And okay, that's it. And this
Generally
is the,
also we keep it to 1 inch only.
sorry,
Generally also whenever we are
that
working on any
depends.
project.
That
Yeah.
depends on how much level of preciseness you need to in your project. For example, if it's a very like somewhere you can't just lose even half of the inch, then you can keep your preciseness level up to that half inch or 1 by 4th of inch. Okay, so that depends. Right now we are doing on demonstration, and we are doing a elevation project in which 1 or 2 inches are not a very big deal, so that's why I kept it on 1 inch. Okay. So this was the length. When you will keep the area, which will be at square feet, I'll keep it to 2 decimal places, because that's how much rounding I need in there. Okay, and density is okay. We don't need to what is speed time. We won't be volume. We need 2 decimal places. It's okay. Okay, so generally you just have to change because we are working on 3D structure. Okay, so mainly length, area, and volume. These three things which will be concerned about. Other speed and all those things you don't need to change. But if you want, you can. But you don't need that. Okay. So now I'll just press OK, and our prerequisites are set now. Okay. So this is the first step which you need to do when you start your Revit. So now all the things are set. I'll just give you a small tour about what all these things are, which you can see on the screen. Okay. So on the topmost, here you will see this R symbol. This will, this is just a logo. But when you'll go right from here, then you will have different type of options which you can get in file menu also. But here, these are the shortcuts. For example, uh, this is for home, then open, then save, undo, redo, print. This is the dimension when you will measure between two surfaces. These shortcuts are good. There are also different shortcuts which you can type. For example, for dimension, you can type DI, but that is totally upon you. Okay. Then there are some small shortcuts like this default 3D view shortcut you have. Then this section shortcuts you have. Okay, so all these shortcuts will be there. If I'm working on Revit 2021, if you have a laptop which has a normal like 5-6 year old laptop, even my laptop is 5-6 year old, but I have installed this one. It works a little bit sluggish on my laptop. But if you have a laptop which is 5-6 year old, you can download 2017 version, because I think that is the version which is the most smooth one, or maybe versions before that, but the versions before 2017 lack some of the features. So 2017 or 18 is good. Okay, so that depends. If you have a laptop which has more than 4 GB of RAM, then you can also download 2021. But yes, it will work a little bit sluggish. Okay, so then you have these all the trays. So there is this architectural tab in which you will get some options. Then you have structural tab in which you will get some structural elements option. These won't work here because this is an architectural template, but yes, some of these may work. For example, I have used beam systems and beam in an architectural template, so they might work. Okay, but we won't be needing all this. And then you have this steel tab in which it will have different type of steel, I would say, elements when you work on structural steel. Then you have precast tab, which deals with all the precast elements. But all these things which we won't be using because we are going to do an architectural layout. Okay. Then you have this systems tab here, which I have talked about: electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and HVAC systems, right? Then we have this insert tab. So this insert tab is very important because through this tab you can link or bring any other drawing on any other software and link it to Revit, and then you can directly work on that. You don't have to create everything from scratch. So a lot of people ask this route, that how can we transfer a file, an AutoCAD drawing to Revit, or how can we transfer a Revit thing to AutoCAD? So you can do it from this tab, which I will show you how to do it later. Then we have this annotate tab. This is used for dimensioning and spotting or marking different things in your project. Okay. Then you have this analyze tab, which is generally used in load calculation, which we won't be doing right now. Then we have this masking and site. It is for site components and different 3D things. Okay. And this collaborate is used for collaborating our project with schedules and monitoring its, I would say, progress. Here you will need speed and time and all those things, but this we won't be doing because this generally works in with MSP or Primavera. Okay, so now we have this view tab in which you will get different type of views and other options, for example 3D section call out. Okay, so which I will show you later. I will show you each and everything later. This is just a brief introduction. Okay, then we have this manage tab, which is mainly used for different type of materials we want to apply to your project. Okay, which we will, because it's very important. Then there we have this add-ins tab in which you can add in from different type of models. Then we have this. Okay, this is an extra tab which I have in my Revit. I'll show you why I have this. Then the last we have modifier, which generally will come whenever you select an option. Okay, so you'll be like majority of you guys will be, we work on these different things that we have aligned and then offsets, mirror images, and all those things. Majorly we'll be working on this because whenever you select an art, like whenever you will select an element, these options will come in handy. Okay, so right now in the left side we have this properties tab, which you can see here. So it will show you the properties of each and every element you have selected. For example, if I have selected a wall, okay, on the left side the properties I have changed now. Now this is the default wall which I get. Okay, this is an 8-inch thick wall, and its location or marking will be done on center line. Base constraint is level 1, which is on the ground. Then offset is 0, 0. Offset is how much far it is from the base constraint. Okay, then the top constraint is unconnected, and the height is 20 feet. So all these things will be the properties which you can change according to your requirement. Okay, so first of all I'll show you when you'll drop down this menu, you will get different type of basic walls which as default are present on Revit software. Okay, in 2021 if you'll install, you will get all these different wall already present there as a default template. Okay, so these are the general walls In this, some are exterior, some are interior, some are different type of material walls. Okay, then you will get curtain wall, which are generally of majority used in stores and different commercial structures. These are glass panel walls. Okay, and then you have this one stacked wall, which is not used because it has triple material and all those things. You won't be using this, but the majority you'll be using is a generic wall, because we are just making an architectural template here, so we don't have to deal with different type of materials. But yes, we have to deal with the exterior materials, because that's how our uh, whole project will look, on the basis of the materials which we provide in the exteriors of a project. And obviously I'll also show you how to like how you can map an interior elevation as well, so that you will get to know. Okay, so now I'll just again show you. If you have selected a wall from here, okay, so you can directly start creating a wall. But now what are these options which you are seeing? So first let's go through them. So this model line is just a line. Okay, so now when you select a model line, you'll get a different type of shapes here. First, this is a line you can draw. Okay, then if you'll select this rectangle, then you can draw a rectangle. All these things are basic things, you'll definitely won't need to focus on that too much. Then you have this polygon. Okay, now what you can do is this polygon, if I don't want a 6-side polygon, then you can change the sides. For example, if I have selected this polygon, I can see here sides are 6, so I'll select 4 or maybe 5 and press enter. Okay, so then only 5 side polygon I'll be able to draw. Okay, then you have this offset, from which point you want how much offset. For example, if I select it as 1 feet, and if I draw it from this point, sorry, maybe from this point, then you'll get 1 feet offset here. Okay, and there is one more option, this radius. Okay, so I'll keep it as 2. Then it will only draw a polygon with 2 feet of radius circumscribed to it. Okay, so all these restrictions are useful when you will like make a specific thing. You can use them. Okay, then you have this similarly in the this rectangular thing also, you can put it in a circumscribed radius, or you can like apply an offset. Then you have this circumscribed polygon. Okay, so in which a inner circle is drawn. So if you have the radius of a thing and then you have to surround it by a polygon, then you can use this option. Okay, then you have this circle option, so in which you can create a circle. Now either I can move it, drag the cursor and increase the radius, or I can type the radius. For example, right now it's at 8 feet 6 inches, but I want a 12 feet radius. So I'll just type 12 and press enter. So automatically it will draw 12 feet radius circle. Okay, so this is what you can do in everything. In the line also you can do this. For example, if this is 45, now I don't want it to be 45. Okay, I want it to 55. So either I can move it to 55, or what I can do is leave anywhere. Okay, and then type 55 and press enter. Okay, so I have moved my mouse. Yes, so now if you'll move your mouse to a particular angle from horizontal or vertical, your line will be created on that angle. Okay, for example, I want my line to be at 60 degree from my horizontal. Okay, so I'll have to select this 60 here. Okay, and then slowly release my mouse, and now I can type the uh, like the length of the line I want it to be. So for example, 20, I want it to be for 20 feet. I'll just press write 20 and press enter. So now my this line is 60 degrees from the horizontal and 20 feet long. Okay, so I hope you are getting all these things, because these are important. I'll just clear the screen a bit. although like if you have used AutoCAD, I think these are not very difficult for you. These are just the basic things. uh, Now we have 3 to 4 different type of curves option. Okay, so first I'll show you start and radius wala arc. So now, as the name suggests, first you have to select the start point, then you have to select the end point, and then automatically an arc will be created as long as like as much as you move your cursor. Okay, so this is the start and arc. So how when it is used, I'll just show you. For example, if you have this type of structure or something like this, okay, now you want to join these two ends with the help of a curve. So this is a start point, this is the end point, or this is the start point, this is the end point. So you can use this, click it, then click the end point, and then you can create a curve here. Okay, so this is how it can be used. Then the second option you have is, I'll just delete this so that I'll be able to show you different other curves. And second option we have is center and arc. Okay, so here what you have to do is select one thing. This is whenever you will first click to a point, this will be the center of the arc. Okay, so now I want this point to be the center of my arc, so I'll select this, and then one circle will start creating. Okay, but you have to select one end of the arc. So for example, I want this to be the one end of the arc, so I'll just select this, and now as I've selected center and one end, I can draw without using my mouse button. I haven't clicked anything. Automatically I'm drawing this arc. Okay, so I can draw this arc from here to here. Okay, so this is how this works. So first you have to select the center, then one point, and then you have to draw to the second point. So, okay, so this is second type of arc or curve. Then you have third is tangent arc. So here when you select 2 points, it will automatically connect them to a particular radius. Okay, so I'll select this point and then this second point, and automatically you can't change the radius. If you select this point, then it will create automatically connect these two lines. Now you can change the radius from this option. Okay, I'll show you how here. So now radius is 2 feet. We'll keep it at 5. Let's see, sometimes it doesn't work because now I have kept it on 5. Okay, so my radius is changed, so it will only create an arc like this small only. So I can keep it again maybe at 1. Let's see, and what we can draw smaller one. Okay, so at that time radius was off, that's why you were able to make an arc. If your radius is restricted, then you can use this option. For example, if I want a big arc from this point to this point, maybe we'll need 20 feet radius. Maybe I'll just press 20 and press enter, and let's see what we can make. Okay, so sometimes you can't do it. Wait. And what happens is, for example, if I've selected 20 feet radius, okay, so now my arc will draw at 20 feet radius, but even then also it doesn't reaches the point where I want it to reach. Then you have to select the, like you have to turn off the radius. Whenever you turn off the radius, what it does is, for example, if you have a line, right, or any other command, so if you don't select specifications, what Revit does is automatically takes in some values and then creates the thing which you want. Okay, so that level of automation you will get in this software, and along with that you can select your own prerequisites. So for example, if I turn off this radius, which works in each and everything, for example in this line, if I have the radius turned off, or maybe in the circle I haven't turned off or turned on my radius here, so automatically it will create according to your specification. But if you want something to be in some boundary or limitation or something like that, then only you need to give this radius a specific value. Okay, so if I give it a value of 40 feet, then my arc will be at 40 feet of radius. Okay, you can't change the radius. Then you can change the direction of the arc to one point or the other, but you won't be able to change the radius because you have specified a particular radius here. So this is very important when it comes to different type of modeling you have to do. Sometimes you have some specific radius or maybe an angle or a length on which you have to like what I can say is restrict your structure. Then this is very important. Okay, generally a lot of people don't, like even I, when I'm working on a general project, I don't keep a lot of regulations on and different type of thresholds. I just draw, like I make whatever it looked like, because I'll show you that you will get to know, because when you see an elevation you won't be able to see different type of dimensions, because that you will see in a plan. Right now we are working on an elevation, so dimensioning is not very important there. Looks are important, and then when you see a plan you'll get to know. Okay, okay, so moving on, then we have this fillet arc, which creates an arc as in a fillet form, but the main thing is that those two lines should be intersecting. Now I think these two lines are intersecting, but when I'll create a fillet here and I'll select this line, automatically it will create a fillet to a point where they might intersect, or maybe to a lower point as well. Okay, so now if I'll create a fillet arc here, maybe at this point, now you can see this arc is not touching all those the both the lines which I have selected, but whenever I'll click, it will automatically draw two lines like this. Okay, so this is a fillet arc. This is also very important. You'll know where to use it. Okay, so moving on, then you have this spline command. Yes, spline is very important when it comes to different type of impulse and all those type of things, because you'll get to know. It's very easy. But what spline does is, it is a continuous curve. Okay, it doesn't work as two endpoints. It has multiple endpoints. Until you want to end it, it will go on. So each and every point, when you will click, you can start or mold your curve on that point. Okay, for example, this is the first point. Okay, now you will see this is just a line, but when I select my second point, I can move my curve. Second point will be the reference point for my third point, and then my curve will go from second point to third point wherever I will click and select my third point. For example, here I have selected my third point. So now again, I can move my fourth point with respect to third point, but my second and first point will also be moved. Okay, they are not fixed. They will be moved well, like with respect to the fourth point I select. So this is what a spline is. Okay, it is a continuous smooth curve in which everything will keep moving until and wherever I'll select the 4 to 5 points. Okay, so now this is what we have created. You can edit it. When you will click on it, you'll see different type of points. Okay, so you can edit your curve with respect to those points here. For example, if I want to move this, so I can edit this spline point. These all points are called spline points. Okay, and you can edit whatever you have created. So this is a very useful thing, but I'll show you how when to use it when we'll be looking over different type of roofs. Okay, so now other option is an ellipse. So everybody knows what an ellipse is. I'll just show you. In the ellipse, there are two things. One is the horizontal radius, and then you have vertical radius. Okay. So for example, if I'm making a complete ellipse, I'll select this option. Okay. Now I want horizontal radius to be 20 feet. So I'll type 20 and press enter. As soon as I press enter, my horizontal thing is fixed now, because I have entered 20. Now only I can change the vertical radius. So if I want the vertical radius to be 15, okay. So wherever I keep my cursor, it doesn't matter. I'll just type 15 and press enter. So now I have created an ellipse with 20 feet horizontal radius and 15 feet vertical radius. Okay. You can, every time you create an element, change its direction, change its dimension directly. For example, now I remember that I had to make a 30 feet horizontal radius ellipse, but now I have made a 20 feet one. What I can do is click on this. So you can edit it from here, write 30, press enter, and automatically it will extend to that 30 feet. Okay. So this is how you can edit things even after you have created them. So you don't have to delete it and again draw it. Okay. So I hope you understood this ellipse. Then you have this partial ellipse in which you can create a partial ellipse like this. Okay. Then you have this pick lines option. So now what is pick line, which important, and we will do a lot of things with the help of pick lines. So it will create a line based on the existing line which you have picked. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so when I select pick lines, now I can pick different type of lines which are already created here. Okay, for example, this is the line. Okay, now it works generally with an offset. So if I want to create a parallel line from this line at a distance of 2 feet, so I'll select the offset at 2 feet, press enter, and now whenever I'll hover over to this line, I have not clicked yet, I'm just moving my mouse, I have not clicked any button here. So whenever I'll hover over like this, either on this side of the line or this side, it will ask me where to create that picked up line at 2 feet parallel line. Okay, so if I'll say if this side line is drawn and I have clicked it, my left click, automatically it will draw a parallel line at right side of that. Okay, so this is how pick line works. I'll show you again. For example, if I selected pick lines option, okay, and the offset is around maybe 10. Okay, so now here I'll show you in this ellipse. If I'll hover over to ellipse surface, it will create either an internal ellipse which is at 10 feet distance from the existing ellipse, or an external ellipse which is at 10 feet distance from an existing ellipse, because this whole ellipse is a single line, like created by single line. It does not have any endpoints. That is why the whole thing is selected. But if I cut it, which I will show you how to do right now, but we can do it later also. For example, if I have cut it into two different, so now this is one part, this is one part. Okay, so when I'll select the pick lines option, which is okay, yeah, and I'll select the offset as 10, then only half of the ellipse I can create at one time, because the line starts from here and ends at here, or this line. Okay, so this is how pick lines work. So I hope you understand all these type of shapes, because they will be very important. So if anyone has any doubt with any of these shapes which we have studied, you can ask me right now. I'll again, even if you'll ask me later also, I'll tell you what to do. But right now, I think you need to be clear about all these things. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, so let's move forward to.
Sir,
Sorry, yes.
pick line is only about offsetting.
Pick line is about picking an existing surface or existing line, which is already created. You can't create something with this. You cannot create, but it is only about picking an existing line. But if existing line is there, you have not selected an offset, then there is no point of picking lines because it won't pick anything. So you have to create or give an offset, and then only pick lines will work. So yes, it is generally only about offsetting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now, since we have created all the shapes, so I think someone's mic is on. So can you like?
Can you mute it actually?
I can wait.
Huh.
I think it's Mayank, right? I can't mute it.
Yes.
Maybe Chitra or someone from Prodrini can. So if you can mute him because it's disturbing a little bit. Thank you. Okay. And whenever you want to ask a question, you can unmute. Okay. So now there are these options on the left side. Okay. We'll go through all these. So first is align. So when you want to align two different elements, this is used. For example, if I have created first this line, then other line is this. Okay. Now I want to align those two endpoints of these two lines. So what I'll do is select the align command, select this line and then this line. So okay, this is horizontal align. You can also create vertical align. Sorry. So what align generally do is it will shift the second one to the surface of the first one. For example, if I have created this and these two different rectangles, okay, sometimes we need align, sometimes we just shift it. You can also copy it, but align is a good command. It's not very handy because generally if I want to align something, I'll just copy it to that point. Okay. But what you can do is, for example, I want to extend this line to this point. Okay. This reference line. So what I'll do is select the align command, select this line and then this line. So automatically this line is extended to the reference line of this line, which we have selected here. Okay. Now if I create a line here somewhere in the middle, maybe here, okay, and I want this line to be only aligned to this line. So what I can do is again select the align tool. This is my first line because this is the base point I want to change its line reference to, and then select this. So automatically it will decrease to that point. Okay, so this is how we can use align, but it's not very used. I'll show you different other options where you can align your particular surface or a line or a rectangle or whatever. Okay, so now the second option is offset, which you can do with a pick line option also, but offset also you can use. Okay, so for example, you have selected this offset. Okay, now you have to select the offset value. For example, I'll select 5 feet. Okay, and then you can automatically offset it. So now pick lines will only work with lines, but offset will work with the whole thing. For example, maybe I have, I'll just create a node or I can only place on a wall. Maybe a component I'll select. Okay, so if I have selected this W-shaped column, okay, and I will just draw it somewhere here. You'll be able to see it. Okay, no, you won't be able to see it because it's a level thing. Okay, wait, it will draw something else. Maybe a component, maybe this desk or some other component. Let's see if we have something else. No, right now we only have this desk. Okay, no issues. Maybe this desk I have created. Okay, so now this is a desk. So if I want to offset I can use this desk as well at some different type of offset. But what I can do is either I can offset it, or the most general thing which I can use is this copy command. Now a lot of people use this offset generally for line or wall or beam or all those things which has a particular length. Now this also has a length, but with length it also has a radius. So whenever you will offset something with respect to your length, your radius will change. Okay, so I think that is uh, like important, because when you don't want to change your radius and then only you want to offset it things, then yes, you can, instead of using this offset command or pick lines, what you can do is select it, copy it, select the point and select any other point, and then you can copy it. Now it will be intersecting the initial one, but the radius will not change. Okay, so this is important. Wait 1 second, I'll just uh, delete all these things again, and then I'll show you copy and move command. Okay, so now can you give me a minute? I think there is a lot of noise going on. I'll just tell them to keep quiet a bit. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, so uh, now we have these two mirror option left. Now this what other things are left? Let me just check. Okay, first I'll show you the mirror option, which is very easy. Okay, so for example, if you have created a rectangle here, now I want to mirror it. So I have two options. First is pick an axis. Now I don't have an axis here, so I'll first draw an axis. Now this is my axis. I want to mirror this rectangle through this axis. So what I can do is select the pick an axis option. First, I'll select this option. Before selecting the mirror thing, I'll select the object, then go to pick an axis option, and then I'll select this axis. Okay, so automatically it will create a mirror image. Now, sometimes if you don't have an axis here, okay, and which is most commonly I use, so I'll select this object, select this other option, draw an axis. So when I'll select it, now I can draw an axis anywhere. So for example, I'll draw an axis from this point to this. So automatically this will create a mirror object, but you won't be able to see the axis. So yes, this is another option to mirror things. Okay, so you can mirror things this way. Then we have this option. I'll just show you in a rectangle only. Okay, this another thing is this split element. Okay, so now you have these two type of split. Either you can just split element at that point, or split with gap. When you split with gap, it will create a gap between them. Okay, and when you'll just split, it will just split. For example, now this is a single line. Okay, I want to split it from the center, so I'll select this point and I'll move my cursor. Okay, and wherever the center is, first either I can do this directly, or what I can do is now if I can't find the center, so I'll go to architecture, model line, and I'll draw a line from the center like this. So now when I'll go to this model line option and split option, at this point I'll split it, it'll automatically split this line from the center. Okay, so this is how split option will work. I'll just quickly delete this. Now it is unsplitted. Okay, So if I want to split it with a gap, then I can use this option, but it generally works on a double or a 3D element. So right now we have not created this our 2D element to a 3D, so it won't work here. Okay. So that we'll see whenever we convert this project to a 3D. Now the other option is array. Okay. So for example, this rectangle we have. I'll just delete this line for now. Select this. Now we have this move command also. First I'll show you move and copy, then I'll show you the array command. For example, this rectangle I want to move it to somewhere, okay? But I don't, my basic point where I want to move it to is maybe at the end of this line. Okay, at this point I want to align it to this point of this rectangle. So what I can do is select it, move command, select this edge, and move it wherever I want. Move it to this, snap it on it, and then rectangle is moved. Similarly, you can select it, set the copy command, select maybe put a whichever reference point you want it to copy. This one, and then copy it wherever you want. I want to copy it here. So, so this is how I can move and copy. Now you have to be very precise when you are copying or moving to a point. You have to zoom into it and then only snap it. Okay, otherwise this will happen, which just happened. So this is move and copy. Now if I select, whenever you select an object, these options will automatically come. Okay. Now there is this trim and extend option which I'll show you. For example, there are two lines. Maybe one line is this. Okay, one line is this. Okay, these two lines are intersecting lines, but right now they are not intersecting. These are not parallel lines. Okay, so then you have this trim and extend option. So whenever you press this and select one line and then the second line, automatically they will extend to an intersecting point. Okay, so this is what extend looks like. You can extend two lines to an intersecting point, or what you can do is trim. For example, these four lines are there, but I don't want this line to extend after this baseline or this baseline. So I can use this trim and extend, select this baseline first, and then each and every line I'll select, it will cut it from that point. Okay, but now since this is a double trim and extend, which will select trim both the elements which I have selected. So what I can do is, you have this single trim and extend also, single element, and then you have this multiple elements also. This is automatically multiple elements. I'll select this single element, select this is the base element, and then select this, then automatically just trim that one. Now again I'll select this as base, as this one. Now this as base, and I'll select this extend element because I want to trim this one, maybe this one, base, and the thing which you want to trim, base and that element. Then we have to select the base and that element. So this is how you can trim different elements in a particular boundary. Okay, it's very important. We will get to learn when we will be working on very minute details. Okay. And then the last we have this array and scale command. Now scale, as the word speaks, is used to scale objects. Right now this object is at this scale. If I want to change its scale, I'll select one point here, and then I can select different other point, and then I can scale it like this. Okay, for example, if this is an object, okay, and my scale I have selected is from this to half of its point. So now half is equal to full. So I've put the scale on 1/2. So when I'll increase it to full, it will double its size. And when I'll go to the double option, it will increase its size to the 4 times. Okay, so this is how scale works. This generally we will be using if you transfer any AutoCAD drawing, but right now we won't be using this option too much. Okay, then you have this array option. So what array does is create multiple copies. Okay, so this is important thing. So I'll just show you. For example, there is this circle here. I want to create 2 3 circles here, or maybe a line of circle from here to this point. So what I can do is select this, select array command. Okay. Now you have either the linear array or radial array. I'll show you both. So first we'll go to the linear array. The number of arrays I want to create elements are 10. Okay, then move to second. So if I selected the second option, I'm moving from this point to this point, then this is my second array. So it will create 10 more arrays after that in the whole line. For example, I'll keep it at 50 feet. Okay, and then 10 arrays we have. So the distance between these two is 50. How I can tell you that is I can measure it, but before that I have to create a line from its center, which I will do. Now if I'll measure it, it will come around 50 feet. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is when I have selected second. If I won't do it, I'll select the last option, because the first to last thing, this one, and I'll create it to 10. If I'll take the radius, sorry, center point as the reference, now this will be my last. So it will create 10 arrays before in the space from this point to this point. Okay, so they will be intersecting, I guess. So let's see at 100 if I'll keep and press enter. So this will be the number of arrays which will be creating if I'll select it as a last one. Okay, now even after creating this array, if you select any one of it, you can change the number of objects which are created. Maybe change it to 100. But as more objects you make, it will take a lot more time to load, because now lines are intersecting on a very like a lot of points. So you start doing different processing things. Okay, so this is how this array works. Okay, then I'll select one. 100 is too much, so I'll keep it at 50, maybe 20. Okay, so from here you can change. Got it? So this is how array will work. I'll just delete it. Sorry, but I have to show you this another option. Okay, so I'll just ungroup it. Again, this is a circle. Now we have this radial array as well. So I'll select this radial array, and then I have to select a radius here. So number I want to keep it 5. Okay, and last I want to keep it. So I'll just select this radius. For example, at 60 degree I want to create. Okay, so now since it's a circle, all the circles are coincident. Okay, so this is the angle at which it has created. But now since circle is a coincident, what I can do is I'll just undo it. I'll show you how you can make different bow, because the center of the circle I have selected the same. Okay, so that's why coincident circles are created. Now I will select the array. Okay, go to the radial option, select it as a 5, and maybe this as my base point. Sorry, one second. Select this, ungroup it. Okay, now I have selected this circle. I want to, since it's a circular thing, I think it'll take a lot of center of rotation. Maybe it's a place I want to keep. Okay, so if I'll create this place a center of rotation and then give an angle of 40 degree, so it will create that as the center of rotation. It will select and then it will make an array. Okay, here in as a center, this is the center of rotation and this is the angle which I have created. Okay, so this is how that array will make. And here you can change the number. For example, if I change it to 10, so it have made 10. If I change it to 100, it will make 100 array, but in that radius only. Okay, so this is how it will work.
Yes.
And if you'll go with another, sorry, okay, anyways, so if you go with a different element, for example, a rectangle, the general array will work the same. I'll show you only the radial array because the horizontal vertical array are quite easy. So select this and the radial array. Okay, now I've selected, I have rotated it to, at, for example, at this angle. Okay, I'll keep 5. So it will automatically create 5 radial arrays at the same center point as the first rectangle. And this is how it will look. Okay. So this is what array does. You can create multiple elements here. Now, in this model line, almost all the options I have told you. This cut and join I will show you and hope whenever we'll be dealing with 3D elements, and this dimensioning which I will show you later at the time of 3D elements. So I can also show you right now. For example, this rectangle I have created and these two lines I have created. Okay, I want to check the dimensioning here. So how I can do is select this option, like this, like you have used to do in AutoCAD. Okay, maybe this point I want to know at 62. From this point, now I have selected the line, so it will give a perpendicular one because this is a perpendicular dimension set. So what I can do is select this one and then the point with this one and this point. So I can give dimensioning everywhere. Okay. So this is how dimensions can work. I will show you this in brief, sorry, in detail later when we will be working on different projects. So now almost all the options in this model line you have studied. If you have any doubt in any one, you can ask me. Or if any shape you want me to explain again.
Sir, can you tell about scale command again?
Yes, I can. Scale command is generally used when you are changing the scale of one thing. So how you can use it, I'll show you. For example, there is this 3x7 rectangle. Okay. 3x7. Okay. So now this is the 3x7 rectangle, but my actual side represent that this 3 feet is equal to 21 feet. Okay. So I have to increase its scale by 7 times. Okay, then only this 3 feet will be equal to 21. So what I'll do is select this whole thing, go to scale command, select this line, and then I'll select 21. Okay, so this is my general scale at 21. Now if I'll move it to 21, the 21 dimension will be equal to 3. Okay, so if I have selected this scale to 3 only, which is the general size, this much. So now if I'll move it to 21, it will be converted to 21 sorry, 3 times. Okay. So now if I'll type 21 here and press enter, so my rectangle will be of 21 dimension, and this dimension will be 7 into 3, which is, sorry, 7 into 7, which is 14, because I have multiplied the whole thing to 7 times. I have increased its scale to 7 times. Okay. So generally we don't use this, but yes, this is when it is used is when you will copy, for example, you will copy this plan. Okay. This whole ground floor plan. Now think about this porch. Okay, now porch size is 10 feet by 14.4, 14 feet 4 inches. Okay, but on the sheet or on the paper, its scale is reduced. This 10 feet is equal to 5 feet. Okay, so now what you have to do is to get it into original scale. What you have to do, from 5 feet to 10 feet, you have to double its scale, right? 5 into 2 is equal to 10. So at that time, the scale command will be used. I'll show you, but it's not generally used that much. If I want to do it, I will, for example, if there is this scale, I want to change the scale of this thing. Okay, maybe this rectangle. Uh, okay, now this is 11. I want to make it 22. So I won't use the scale and double it. I'll just type 22 here, and maybe this one I want to move. I'll type 20 or 40 here. Now there is one more thing which I want to tell you is whenever you select an element in a rectangle or a polygon, then you will get a perpendicular distance here. Now I have selected this element, but I'm getting this dimension. So it doesn't mean that this dimension is this one. Okay, it will be different. So when I select this element, that means from another element which is parallel to this element is 22 feet away. So when I selected this element, now if I change this to 10, only this element will move near or far away from the base element. Like this, if I make it 30, it will move far away. If I make it 15, it will come back here. Okay. But if I want to change this element, so I have to select this one and then change this 15 or 30. So now if I change it, this element will move. Okay. So this is very important when you're moving or changing dimensions of 2 or 3 elements. So you'll keep it in mind and you'll get a hold of it whenever you'll be working on a project.
And all these have shortcuts also, like AutoCAD.
Yes, they have shortcuts like AutoCAD, but some of them does not have, some of them have. So whenever you want to learn shortcuts, here these line commands will not have those shortcuts. Even if they have, I'll give you a shortcut list in at the end of the class. But when you'll be working on 3D structures, for example, door or windows or walls, all these have shortcut. For example, wall ka shortcut is WA, door ka is DR, window ka is WN. So all these shortcuts you will get to know when you will be working on 3D commands. And for these 2D things also, if there are shortcuts, I'll give you the list. I have that.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, shortcuts are important. uh, like they are useful when you're working on a project and you have a time constraint. So now if anyone other than you or anyone has any doubt till now, you can ask me. These are the basics of Revit, which I have told you, the basic things which you might uh, which are which you think are very familiar with AutoCAD, I guess. In AutoCAD nowadays you can also create 3D things. uh, So, and on the right side, you have this project browser. Okay. So it will show you different levels on which you are working, ceilings, elevations, which you will get to know when we will be working on the project, because now it's already quarter to 10. So I guess from tomorrow only we will start a whole project. Tomorrow we'll learn the basic elements like wall, door, windows, all those things. I'll complete in one class only. They are not very lengthy. And then later, when we will be learning massing and site or on 3D components, creating components by our own, then you might be learning. It will take 1 or 2 extra classes. Okay, so you make a circle 3D. Circle is a 2D structure only. 3D is
No,
either
sir.
a
You
sphere.
have made different circles pattern and converted into the 3D green structure.
Yes, that you can do, but these options from model line, these only create 2D structures. These are not 3D elements. So if you want to create 3D elements, then you will be able to see it in the walls and different component things, which I will show you later. Right now, if I show you will get confused. So अभी तक हमने जो भी देखा, all the elements which we have seen or tried to understand till now, these all are only 2D. So if you go to this model line panel, all these structures which you have seen are 2D elements. So when we actually will be creating 3D things, we will first create 2D surfaces from this, and then we will drag it to 3D, which I will show you when I will be teaching 3D elements. Okay, because if right now I'll show you, for example, if right now I'll show you this 3D thing, you will get confused. How? I'll just show you, because it will take a step by step process. Okay, so now if I'll go to this 3D thing, and I'll show you how to create 3D circle like this, press right, and then go to the 3D view, and I'll show you this, that yes, this is a 3D structure. Now you will get confused because it takes 4 to 5 classes to come to this point. Okay, so this is how we do it, but I will teach you this later, that how these 2D elements which we have learned till now are useful to create 3D elements. Okay, so that you will learn in the coming classes. So any other query does anyone has, or I'll just show you different type of elevation things which you need as a prerequisite, and then from tomorrow we'll start a new project. Okay, uh, but yes, I had to show you how to install Revit. So let's do that. What you can do is uh, mm, okay, so now if you go to Autodesk website, just give me 1 second, I'm getting a call, I have to attend it. Okay, so this is the website, a lot of things are changed, I guess. So when you go to this website, you'll get the student and educators, okay, or maybe student downloads. So this is US site. I want to download it from Indian site. Okay, let's go there first.
And sir, I think so. It gets time to get verified. That's student
Sorry.
section.
Yeah. So now I want to download
Sir, I think
it.
so that
Mhm.
it takes time.
No, it takes a bit of time. Yes, obviously, because whenever you will submit your documents, someone will review them. Definitely. Here also you can see this video how it works, or you can directly sign into your Autodesk account, and whenever you will start click on downloading option, then you have to upload your documents. A better option which I can tell you is download a cracked version, because then you don't have to go through all this fuzz and all. So first you have to create start a VPN, because torrents are blocked in India, I guess. And then there is with this website called 1337x.to. Okay, this is a torrent engine. If you know how to download torrent, you will get here. Here, when you select right Revit, whichever model you want, for example 2017 year version, press enter, we'll get this 2017 Revit. Okay, or you want Revit 2021 version. Okay, so now here you have this 2021 version. When you will go to this 2021 version Revit, you'll see it's a 17.4 GB software. Okay, and it has crack files as well as installation files as well. So when you will download this, you will get this 2021 crack PDF. It will have a lot of instructions which you have to do. For example, you have to close the firewalls, you have to turn off the internet, and then you have to select the virus protection to turn off for now, because this keygen works in that only. And then after installing Revit, there will be some small steps which you have to do to license it or crack it. If that doesn't work, I'll show you what to do and how to do. But you have to download this first. So if you don't have, go to this first install a VPN on your browser, whichever you're using, Chrome or whichever browser. Start the VPN, go to this 1337x.to, which is the torrent engine. When you'll go to this, either if you have this uTorrent software in your computer, if you have this installed, then you can directly open a magnet download link. Or what you can do is install this first, then do all these steps, and whenever you will select the magnet download, click it, automatically it will open this dialog box. Do you want to open this in uTorrent? And then when you click it open torrent, it will automatically add the torrent in your uTorrent, and the full file will be downloaded. Okay, and then you have to just press OK, and then downloading will start here like this. Okay, it will connect to some peers and downloading will start. Okay, so this is how you can download this software. Once you have downloaded it, it will have the instructions to crack it. If you don't have that, you can ask me, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, or if you want to get the official version only, then you can go to this option, sign in, and create a login password, and then you have to upload your educational access if you have, or any other document which you have to upload there. But it will take some time, because if you'll upload a document, definitely someone will review it, which will take maybe 3 to 4 days or maybe a week. So I think a cracked version is better at this point of time. You can also install, for now, if you can't crack it or download it officially, you can install a trial version, but then trial version will have limited options only. So I would not recommend that. Okay. So this was the first class. If you have any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. And there is one more thing. There's this elevation option. Okay. So if you go to any elevation, then I'll get this 2 elevations which are right now created, level 1, level 2. Okay. Now I want to make a 4-floor building. Okay. So for me, level 1 is the ground floor, 2 is the first floor. So for getting second, third, and at 4th, I want the roof. So I have to make 3 more levels. So how I can do is, there is this level option. Whenever I will go to an elevation, whichever you want, you can go. I generally use east one because this is the first one. You can go to north as well. Okay. So here you will find this level option. So after level, you'll either have the option to create the line yourself or pick up a line. So I generally pick the line because it's an easier option, and put the offset at 10 feet, because generally floor height in India is 10 feet. We'll press enter, and then I can make level like this. Okay. Just remember not to make a level again below this, because it will coincide 2 levels. Okay, so you have to be very careful here. So now I have this 4 floor till level 5, height is 40 feet. and I've created these elevations. Now you have all these levels here. Okay, so you can start working on different levels. So before starting to work on a particular level or a project, you have to select different levels, or you can do it while you are working on a project as well. So that's totally your choice. Okay, so this is how you can create different levels. You can create it at whatever distance you want. You can create two level difference as 12 feet or 15 feet. That's up to you. But generally a floor height here uh, in India is 10 feet around. Some places will get lower because I remember visiting like my grandmother's place, which was in Rajasthan, and the floor height there was around 7.5 and 8 feet. Yes, so that depends on different areas, but general height is 10 feet. Okay, so this is how we can create different levels. Now from tomorrow, I hope every one of you will at least download that. You will get the recorded session of this recorded version of this session, so that if you have any difficulty, you can again go through that step by step process and download it. At least download it, so that it will take 5 minutes to elaborate or explain to you how you can install that software. So do this downloading task which you have for today, and if you have installed the software, then you can directly practice all the things which we have learned today. So what you have to practice is all the model lines, because I think practicing is very important in this type of things, because you will forget. Sometimes I keep forgetting different type of things. So because I have not practiced, sometimes I haven't practiced a lot of things. So for example, this align tool, which I was telling you at the time. Now I haven't practiced this in a long time, because generally when I use offset or copy or move tools instead of align. So I forget what those tools do. So that's why practice is very important. And for that you need the software. So I hope till tomorrow everybody will at least download that.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so then since we have to now start on the new project, I'll start from tomorrow only. And if you have any doubt on today's session, if you want me to repeat anything, you can tell me right now. I'll do that.
Sir, for the torrent, it's 1337, right? 1337. No?
Yes, I'll just type it for you. The website is, yes, I'll just type here. That is exact website will be 1337 x.to. Okay, this is, or you will get a different, many different type of torrent websites on Google, but this is what I used. It has less ads and very like precise good torrents will get on
And
this
so before
website.
that, we have to use VPN also, no? Before this?
Yes, because torrent site using torrent is not allowed. All things are blocked. Okay, so you have to use a VPN. Now, offset is making a similar object at a particular distance in the software. For example, there is this line. Okay, so now I want to create another line at an offset. Offset is generally a distance or a predefined distance from a particular predefined element or object or a point. Okay, so that what the word offset means. So now if I'll go to model line, I'll pick up this line. Now if I want to create an offset or create another thing at an offset of 5 feet from this point. So offset is generally a distance measure in a particular unit. Okay. Here this unit is feet and the particular distance is 5 feet. That means this line is created at an offset of 5 feet from this line. Okay. So this is what offset means. It's a term for a particular distance from a particular point, object or element. So I hope the way I explain things are pretty understandable and you got all the things which I have explained. This was the easiest part because from tomorrow we will be dealing with 3D structures and we have to be a bit faster than we were today. Since it was an introduction, I was going very slow, but I will be catching up with the pace from tomorrow. Ma'am, this class will be from Monday to Friday, right?
Yes, sir.
And on Saturdays and Sundays, the class won't be there.
Sir, yeah, it's there. 4
It is
weeks.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. No issue.
It's not there on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
think I was
Sunday.
informed that it is not there.
Not Sunday. Not Sunday. Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday. Okay. So Sundays will be our like practice or maybe assignment days, in which I will give you some small assignment each and every week, depending upon the progress which we have learned till in that week. And then on Sundays, you will be completing those assignments and submitting back on Mondays, or we will be reviewing that. And at the end of the class, which is like the last 5 days or last 2 days, maybe I'll give you major assignment. Maybe I'll give you a 1 week of time to complete it or 4 days of time to complete it, and then we'll be reviewing it in the last class. So that's important. So installing Revit is the most important thing which you need to do right now. If you can't practice today also, then it's okay. These things you will get. These are the basic things which you will be working on every day. So you will learn about them. Okay, so your main task for today is installing or downloading that software. So come with that tomorrow. Okay.
Sir, is any difference between that crack version or that official version?
Difference, yes, official version will be a free version. So there might be some things which will not be present in that. But those things are on an advanced level, so you don't need to worry about that. For now, for this class, it won't make any difference. So if you can download that official version, it will be better because if it hangs or if the software doesn't work properly, you can directly get assistance of Autodesk. But in cracked version, you can't do that. So yes, but cracked version is more handy and you don't need to submit any documentation or wait for any verification. So that's what the main difference is.
Okay, sir, we'll try downloading crack version.
Cool. So once you download it, try to install it through the instructions which are given on the software, or maybe a reading file. And if you don't understand how to do it because it takes sometimes time, even I can't crack different softwares sometimes, then I'll tell you how to do it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Cool. So let's end today's class here, and tomorrow again we'll start at 8:30.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable time and for this wonderful session. Students, you can leave now.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Bye bye.